The small ship shook as it landed on the surface of the alien planet. The young explorer, Jax, sat quietly in the pilot's seat. His heart beat fast. This was his first mission alone, and he was only level 1, meaning he was new, weak, and had little experience. But Jax was brave and ready to prove himself. The planet outside was strange and dark. The sky was a dull gray, covered with thick clouds that never moved. Jagged rocks stuck out of the ground like broken teeth. No plants or animals were in sight, only silence. This was a death world, a place so dangerous that even the strongest warriors usually did not come back alive. Jax took a deep breath and opened the ship's door. The cold, sharp air hit his face. It smelled strange, like burnt metal mixed with wet earth. He grabbed his small backpack, checked his simple weapon, and stepped outside. His boots sank slightly into the soft, dark soil. "This will be easy," Jax whispered to himself, trying to stay confident. Just a quick scouting mission. Find signs of life, collect data, then get out. But he was wrong. The moment Jax started walking, he felt eyes watching him. He looked around, but there was nothing but shadows. Strange noises echoed softly. A low growl, a rustle in the rocks, something moving fast in the distance. The planet was alive in a way Jax had never felt before. He moved carefully, every step slow and quiet. He remembered his training. Stay calm, watch everything. Don't panic. Suddenly a shadow crossed his path. Jax froze. From behind a large rock, a small creature jumped out. It looked like a mix of a lizard and a spider with sharp claws and many glowing eyes. It hissed and hissed again, bearing rows of tiny teeth. Jax raised his weapon, a simple energy pistol, but before he could aim, the creature darted away into the darkness. Jax's heart pounded. This was no ordinary planet. As he walked deeper into the rocky land, the weather changed fast. Thick fog rolled in, cold winds whipped around him, and sharp drops of acid rain fell from the sky. His clothes started to burn, slightly. He pulled his jacket tighter and searched for shelter. He found a small cave and hurried inside. The cave was dark and cold, but at least safe from the rain. Jax pulled out his scanner and tried to read the environment. The scanner beeped wildly. Danger levels were off the charts. Radiation, poisonous gases, and unknown energy fields surrounded the area. This was no place for a beginner like him. Jax sat down, catching his breath. His hands trembled. "I didn't expect this," he said quietly. "This place is like alive, and it hates visitors." He looked out from the cave's mouth. The rocky ground stretched far, with no signs of other humans or machines. But then he saw it. A huge shadow moving slowly near the cliffs. Jax's breath stopped. The shadow was tall and wide, much bigger than any creature he had seen before. It moved with a power and grace that scared him. This was the level 100 Deathworlder he had heard about in legends, a warrior so strong, so deadly that no one dared fight him. Jax wanted to turn and run, but his feet were frozen to the ground. The shadow stopped and looked directly at him. For a moment, Jax felt like the whole planet was holding its breath. The level 100 Deathworlder did not move closer. Instead, it vanished into the rocks like smoke. Jax's mind raced. Who was that giant warrior? Was he a friend or a deadly enemy? He knew one thing. His simple mission had just turned into a fight for survival. The alien planet's dangers were real, and they were coming for him. Jax stayed in the cave all night, too afraid to move. Strange sounds echoed outside. Roars, howls, and something moving close by. He could not sleep. Every minute felt like hours. When dawn came, the fog cleared a little. Jax left the cave and moved slowly forward, always watching. Suddenly, he heard a low growl behind him. He turned quickly and saw a large beast, a four-legged creature covered in thick black scales, with glowing red eyes and razor-sharp teeth. It charged at him. Jax fired his pistol, but the bullets barely scratched the creature's thick skin. He dodged and ran toward a narrow canyon, hoping to lose the beast. The creature chased him, faster and faster. At the canyon's edge, Jax spotted a cliff. He had an idea. He ran toward the edge and jumped into the deep canyon below. The beast snarled and stopped at the cliff's edge, unable to follow. Jax lay on the ground, gasping for air. His heart was pounding harder than ever. He was lucky to survive. But deep inside he knew the worst was yet to come. The Deathworlder, level 100, was still out there, watching, waiting, and Jax was just a beginner in a deadly game. Jax found a small stream of water and drank slowly. His body was tired and his mind was full of questions. How did the level 100 get so strong? Could he learn to survive here? Was there a way to escape? He looked up at the dark sky. The clouds were moving again, faster now. Something big was coming. Jax stood up, wiped the sweat from his face, and started walking again. He was alone, weak and scared. But he was not ready to give up, because on this death world, only the strongest survived. And Jax was about to find out if he had what it takes. The sun barely broke through the thick gray clouds as Jax cautiously moved forward. His muscles ached, and his clothes were torn from his fall into the canyon. But the fear inside him was stronger than the pain. He had survived his first night, but the death world was far from done with him. Every sound made him jump. The wind howled like a wild animal, and somewhere nearby, strange noises echoed. Cracks, growls, and the whisper of something big moving through the rocks. Jax tightened, his grip on his small pistol. He wished it was stronger, but this weapon was all he had. Hours passed. Jax tried to scan the area, hoping to find any safe place or signs of other life. Instead, the scanner beeped warnings, danger everywhere, toxic gases, radiation spikes, and unknown signals from the planet itself. He felt watched. Suddenly, movement caught his eye. Between two large boulders, a figure appeared. Tall, strong, covered in thick armor that looked like it was made from the planet's darkest stones. The figure moved with power and silence. This was no ordinary creature. Jax froze. It was the level 100 Deathworlder. The legend was real. Jax's mind raced. Should he hide, run, or try to speak? Before he could decide, the figure spotted him. The Deathworlder's eyes glowed bright red. Slowly it stepped closer, making no sound. Jax could feel the weight of those eyes, full of experience, power, and danger. But instead of attacking, the level 100 stopped and watched him carefully. Jax swallowed hard and said, "I'm not here to fight. I'm just scouting." The Deathworlder tilted its head as if considering. Then it spoke, not in words, but in a deep, low voice that echoed in Jax's mind. "You are weak. This world will kill you." Jax felt a chill. Maybe. But I will survive. The Deathworlder did not reply. It turned away, moving deeper into the rocky hills. Jax watched, confused. Was this Deathworlder a friend, or a cruel hunter? Suddenly, a loud roar shattered the silence. From behind the hills, a massive beast charged toward both of them. It was huge, 3 times the size of Jax's first spider-like attacker, with sharp claws and glowing eyes that burned with hatred. The Deathworlder raised its weapon, a giant blade that gleamed in the dim light. Jax pulled out his pistol and prepared to run. The beast attacked. The Deathworlder fought with incredible skill, dodging and striking with deadly precision. Jax watched in awe. This was power beyond anything he had ever seen. But then the beast turned toward Jax and charged again. Jax fired his pistol, hitting the beast's side, but it only slowed for a moment. He ran toward the nearby canyon, hoping to lose the beast again. Behind him, the sounds of battle echoed. The Deathworlder and the beast fought fiercely. Jax could hear the clash of metal and the beast's angry roars. He wanted to help, but he was too weak. Suddenly, the Deathworlder screamed a challenge and lunged at the beast with his blade. The beast stumbled and fell, wounded but still alive. The Deathworlder turned and looked at Jax. "You survived, but only barely." Jax nodded, breathing hard. "Thanks for the help." The Deathworlder did not smile. "Don't thank me yet. Then, without warning, the Deathworlder vanished into the rocks, leaving Jax alone once again. Jax looked at the empty space and whispered, "Who are you?" His voice was lost in the cold wind. Jax knew this was only the beginning. The Deathworlder was watching, and the Deathworlder's world was deadly. The sky was dark and heavy with clouds when Jax woke up. His body was sore from yesterday's battle, but he was alive. That was a small victory on this Deathworld. He knew he had to keep moving. Jax moved carefully through the rocky hills. He kept thinking about the powerful level 100 Deathworlder. Why had he saved him? Was he a friend or was it a trick? Jax had no answers. Suddenly, a shadow appeared ahead. Jax froze. It was the Deathworlder. This time, the giant warrior didn't look angry or ready to fight. Instead, he spoke in a low voice that was easier to understand. "I am Korak," said the Deathworlder. "I protect this place." Jax stared. "Protect it? From what?" "From those who come to take its power," Korak said. "This planet is alive and it is dangerous. Many warriors have died here trying to control it." Jax thought about his mission. "I'm just scouting. I don't want to fight." Korak looked at him carefully. "You are weak, but you have courage. That may be enough to survive, if you work with me." Jax was surprised. "Work with you?" Korak nodded. "This planet has many dangers. Alone, you will die. Together we can find what you seek, and maybe more." Jax did not trust him, but he knew he had no choice. The planet was too deadly for one person. "Okay," Jax said slowly. "But I don't trust you." Korak smiled, a rare expression on his harsh face. "Nor do I trust you, but we need each other." They started walking side by side, moving deeper into the rocky terrain. Korak showed Jax how to watch the sky for dangerous weather, how to listen for the sounds of hidden creatures, and how to use the planet's strange energy to protect themselves. As they traveled, Jax asked questions about Korak's past. "I was once like you," Korak said. "A beginner. But this planet changed me. I survived the trials and became level 100. The strongest Deathworlder here." Jax listened, amazed. "How did you get so strong?" "By learning the planet's secrets," Korak said, "and by never giving up." Suddenly the ground shook. A loud roar echoed through the valley. A massive creature appeared, a giant insect with armored legs and a deadly tail. It looked angry, ready to attack. Korak moved quickly. "Stay behind me." Together they fought the creature. Korak used his giant blade while Jax tried to shoot with his pistol. The battle was fierce, but the two worked well as a team. After the creature fell, Jax felt a new respect for Korak. Maybe this uneasy alliance was the only way to survive. As the sun set, they found shelter in an old cave. Inside, ancient symbols covered the walls, stories of warriors who had tried and failed on this Deathworld. Korak studied the symbols and said, "There is a power here, hidden but real. It can change everything." Jax felt a mix of fear and hope. Could this power save him, or destroy them both? That night, as they rested, Jax wondered what the future held. He had a powerful ally, but also a powerful enemy. The Deathworld was full of secrets, and only time would tell if they could survive them. The morning light was weak as Jax and Korak stepped out of the cave. The sky was still gray, but the cold air was fresh. Jax felt a strange mix of hope and fear. They were together now, but the Deathworld was still full of dangers. Korak led the way to a distant ridge where ancient ruins lay hidden beneath thick vines and rocks. The ruins were huge, old buildings made of strange metal and stone covered with symbols glowing faintly in the dim light. "This place is important," Korak said quietly. "The power I spoke about is here, but it is protected." Jax's eyes widened. "Protected how?" Korak looked around carefully. "Traps, dangers, and the planet itself. The Deathworld does not give up its secrets easily." They entered the ruins slowly, their footsteps echoing in the cold halls. The air smelled of dust and metal. Strange lights flickered on the wall, showing moving images, stories of warriors, battles, and strange creatures from long ago. Jax tried to read the symbols. They spoke of a great energy source hidden deep inside the ruins. This energy could make a warrior unstoppable, but many who tried to take it never returned. As they moved deeper, the ground began to shake. Suddenly, the walls lit up with red warning lights. The floor trembled. "It's a trap," Korak shouted. "Move!" They ran down narrow corridors, dodging falling stones and glowing energy beams that shot out like lasers. Jax's heart pounded in his chest. This was no ordinary ruin. This was a test, a trial to see if they were worthy. At the end of the corridor, they found a large chamber with a glowing orb floating in the center. The orb pulsed with blue light, and the air around it crackled with energy. "That's the power source," Korak said, eyes shining with both fear and desire. Jax stepped closer. He felt the energy in his bones, a strange warmth and strength he had never known. But then, a loud rumble shook the chamber. The walls began to close in. "We have to get out," Korak yelled. They ran back the way they came, the walls crushing the space behind them. Just as they reached the exit, the ceiling collapsed, blocking the path. Trapped inside the ruins, Jax and Korak looked at each other. The power was real, but so were the dangers. "We need a new way out," Korak said grimly. Jax nodded. "And we need to learn more about this place before it kills us both." Outside, the Deathworld waited silently. The planet's secrets were deep and deadly, and the real test was just beginning. Jax and Korak stood inside the dark ruins, the heavy stones blocking their only exit. Dust filled the air, and the walls seemed to close in around them. Their hearts beat fast. They had to find another way out, or they would die trapped underground. Korak searched the walls, running his fingers over the glowing symbols. "These ruins are old but smart. They were built to protect the power inside," he said. "There must be another exit." Jax looked around nervously. "But how do we find it before the whole place collapses?" Suddenly, the ground trembled again. Small cracks appeared in the walls. Rocks started to fall from the ceiling. "We don't have much time," Korak shouted. "We need to move." They hurried through a narrow passageway barely big enough to squeeze through. The walls were lined with strange machines, some broken and sparking, others humming softly with power. The air smelled like electricity and dust. Jax felt the strange energy again, the same warmth from the glowing orb. It seemed to pull him deeper into the ruins, like the planet was alive and watching. Then, through the darkness, they saw a faint blue light. It flickered, like a beacon. "That might be our way out," Jax said, running toward it. As they moved closer, the floor shook violently. A loud rumble echoed through the halls. Suddenly, a group of alien creatures appeared, blocking their path. They were fast and covered in thick armor. Their eyes glowed with hatred. Korak growled, drawing his giant blade. "We fight. No other choice." Jax raised his pistol, trying to steady his shaking hands. The creatures charged. The battle was fierce. Korak's blade sliced through armor and flesh, while Jax fired shots at the attackers. But the creatures kept coming, stronger and faster than anything Jax had seen before. One creature lunged at Jax, sharp claws reaching for him. He dodged just in time and fired his pistol, hitting its leg. The creature screamed and fell. Korak fought beside him, moving like a storm. Together they pushed the attackers back, step by step. Finally, the last creature fell. The ruins were silent again, but Jax could feel the danger was not over. "We have to keep moving," Korak said, breathing hard. "The planet won't let us leave easily." They followed the blue light until it led them to a hidden door. Korak pressed a strange symbol, and the door slowly opened, revealing a tunnel filled with fresh air and sunlight. Jax took a deep breath. "We made it." But as they stepped outside, the ground trembled again. The ruins collapsed behind them with a thunderous crash, sealing the power inside forever. Korak looked at Jax. "We survived, but the Deathworld is not done with us yet." Jax nodded, knowing this was only the beginning of a much bigger fight. Jax and Korak stood outside the ruins, catching their breath. The sun was low, casting long shadows across the rocky land. The ground still trembled slightly from the ruins' collapse behind them. They had escaped, but the death world was far from calm. Suddenly, a sharp whistle cut through the air. Jax froze. He scanned the horizon. A figure appeared on a nearby hill, a tall, muscular warrior dressed in black armor that shimmered under the fading light. His eyes were cold and focused. Korak's expression hardened. "It's him." Jax looked confused. "Who is him?" Korak's voice was low and serious. "The Hunter. Another level 100 Deathworlder. The strongest enemy I have ever faced." The Hunter's eyes locked on them. Slowly, he began to walk down the hill, his footsteps silent but powerful. Jax felt a cold chill. This was no ordinary warrior. The Hunter was a killer, known for hunting down anyone who dared to claim the planet's power. Korak stepped in front of Jax, holding his giant blade ready. "We don't want to fight you, Hunter. Leave us alone." The Hunter smiled, but it was not friendly. "You've taken what does not belong to you. The power in the ruins belongs to me. You will pay for your mistake." Jax's heart pounded. "We only wanted to survive." The Hunter laughed, a cold, cruel sound. "Survival? On this death world, only one can survive." Without warning, the Hunter charged. Korak met him head-on, their blades clashing with a loud ring that echoed through the valley. Jax watched in shock as two level 100 Deathworlders fought with incredible speed and skill. Sparks flew as their weapons struck, and the ground shook. Beneath them, Jax tried to help, firing his pistol at the Hunter, but the shots bounced off the black armor. The Hunter pushed Korak back, his strength overwhelming. Korak stumbled but did not fall. Jax knew he had to do something. He looked around and saw a sharp rock nearby. Grabbing it, he aimed carefully and threw it at the Hunter's helmet. The rock hit the side of the helmet with a loud crack. The Hunter paused, surprised. Korak used the moment to strike, pushing the Hunter away. Breathing hard, Korak said, "You saved me, but this fight is far from over." Jax nodded, feeling more confident. He was weak, but he could help. The Hunter glared at them both. "This is not finished. I will return." With that, he disappeared into the shadows. Jax looked at Korak. "Who is he really?" Korak shook his head. "A reminder. On this death world, power is everything, and enemies are everywhere." Jax realized the truth. Survival meant more than just fighting the planet. It meant fighting the people on it too. The death world was quiet. Too quiet. Jax and Korak stood on the edge of a cliff, looking down at the dark valley below. The air was thick with tension. They both knew the Hunter would come back. "We can't run anymore," Korak said, his voice hard. "We must fight. This is where it ends." Jax nodded, gripping his pistol tightly. He was still weak, but he had learned a lot. And now, he was ready. Suddenly, a shadow moved behind them. The Hunter appeared, his black armor shining like a deadly star. "I've come for what belongs to me," the Hunter said, eyes burning with hate. Korak stepped forward, sword raised. "You will not take it." The three charged at once. The battle was fierce and fast. Korak's blade clashed with the Hunter's, sparks flying everywhere. Jax ran, dodging attacks and firing his pistol whenever he could. The Hunter was strong and fast, but Jax and Korak worked together. Jax distracted the Hunter and Korak attacked. At one moment, the Hunter's sword caught Jax's arm, cutting his sleeve. Pain shot through Jax's body, but he kept fighting. With a powerful strike, Korak knocked the Hunter's sword away. Jax took the chance and fired his pistol at the Hunter's helmet. The shot cracked the armor and the Hunter stumbled back. Korak rushed forward and, with a loud shout, struck the Hunter's side. The Hunter fell to the ground, defeated but still alive. Breathing heavily, Korak looked at Jax. "You fought well. You are stronger than I thought." Jax smiled weakly. "I couldn't have done it without you." The Hunter lay on the ground, staring at them. "This isn't over," he said quietly. "The death world always finds new warriors." Korak and Jax watched as the Hunter disappeared into the shadows, leaving the valley silent again. Jax looked up at the dark sky. The death world was dangerous, but he had survived. He was no longer level 1. He was ready for what came next.